Do you often forget things?
No, I wouldn't say I forget things often, but it does happen occasionally, especially when I'm overwhelmed with tasks or under a lot of stress. For example, I might forget where I placed my keys or miss an appointment if I don't write it down.
What kinds of things do people usually forget?
People often forget small, everyday items like keys, phones, or wallets. They also tend to forget important dates, such as birthdays or anniversaries, or tasks like paying bills or replying to emails.
How do you remind yourself of important things?
I rely heavily on reminders and to-do lists. I use my phone's calendar and alarm features to set alerts for important tasks or events. Writing things down also helps me stay organized and ensures I don't forget anything crucial.
Have you ever forgotten something important?
Yes, I once forgot to bring my laptop charger to work, which was a big problem because I needed it for an important presentation. I felt quite embarrassed and had to borrow a colleague's charger, but it taught me to double-check my bag before leaving home.
How do you feel when you forget something?
I usually feel frustrated and disappointed in myself, especially if it's something important. However, I try to stay calm and focus on finding a solution rather than dwelling on the mistake. Over time, I've learned to be more forgiving of myself when it happens. I'd like to talk about a time when I forgot something incredibly important, which happened about 2 years ago during my final year at university. It was during the week of my final exams, and I was under a lot of stress, juggling multiple subjects and deadlines. On the day of my most crucial exam, which was for my major subject, I forgot to bring my student ID and calculator, both of which were mandatory for entering the exam hall. The reason I forgot these items was purely due to the overwhelming pressure I was under. I had stayed up late the night before, revising and trying to cover as much material as possible. When I woke up, I was already running late, and in my rush to get to the exam hall on time, I completely overlooked the essentials I needed to bring. My mind was so preoccupied with the exam content that I didn't even think to double-check my bag before leaving the house. When I arrived at the exam center and realized my mistake, I felt a wave of panic and frustration wash over me. My heart sank, and I could feel my hands trembling as I frantically tried to figure out what to do. I knew that without my student ID, I wouldn't be allowed to sit for the exam, and without the calculator, I wouldn't be able to complete the math-based questions. I felt incredibly disappointed in myself for being so careless, especially since this exam was worth a significant portion of my final grade. Fortunately, I managed to call a close friend who lived nearby, and they rushed to bring me a spare calculator. As for the student ID, I explained my situation to the exam supervisor, who, after verifying my identity through the university system, allowed me to sit for the exam. Although I was able to take the exam, the entire ordeal left me feeling anxious and distracted, which I believe affected my performance. Looking back, I learned a valuable lesson about the importance of staying organized, even under pressure. Since then, I've made it a habit to prepare everything I need the night before any important event or task. This experience taught me that while stress is inevitable, being prepared can help avoid unnecessary setbacks. It was a humbling moment, but it also made me more mindful and proactive in managing my responsibilities. In conclusion, forgetting something so important was a stressful and emotional experience, but it ultimately helped me grow and become more disciplined. It reminded me that even in high-pressure situations, taking a moment to pause and double-check can make all the difference.
Why do you think people forget things?
People forget things for a variety of reasons, and it often depends on their lifestyle, stress levels, and cognitive habits. One of the most common reasons is information overload. In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with information, making it difficult to retain everything. Stress and lack of sleep also play a significant role, as they impair our ability to focus and store memories effectively. Additionally, multitasking can lead to forgetfulness because our attention is divided, and we don't fully process the information we need to remember. Another factor is the natural aging process, as memory tends to decline with age. However, forgetfulness isn't always negative. Sometimes, our brains prioritize important information and discard what seems less relevant. For example, we might forget minor details but remember significant events or tasks. Emotional states also influence memory. For instance, anxiety or depression can make it harder to concentrate and recall information. Overall, forgetfulness is a complex phenomenon influenced by biological, psychological, and environmental factors.
How can technology help people avoid forgetting important things?
Technology has become an invaluable tool in helping people manage their memories and avoid forgetting important tasks or events. Smartphones, for instance, come equipped with calendars, reminder apps, and alarms that allow users to set notifications for deadlines, appointments, or daily tasks. These tools are particularly useful for people with busy schedules, as they provide timely prompts and reduce the cognitive load of remembering everything. Additionally, digital assistants like Siri or Alexa can be programmed to remind users of specific actions, such as taking medication or attending meetings. Cloud-based platforms like Google Drive or Evernote enable users to store and access important information from anywhere, ensuring that critical documents or notes are never lost. For students, apps like Quizlet help reinforce learning through spaced repetition, making it easier to retain information. However, while technology is incredibly helpful, over-reliance on it can sometimes weaken our natural memory skills. For example, if we always depend on GPS for navigation, we might struggle to remember routes on our own. Therefore, it's essential to strike a balance between using technology as a memory aid and actively engaging our brains to retain information.
Do you think forgetfulness is more common now than in the past?
Yes, I believe forgetfulness is more common now than in the past, primarily due to the fast-paced, information-heavy nature of modern life. In the past, people had fewer distractions and a slower pace of life, which allowed them to focus more deeply on tasks and retain information better. Today, however, we are constantly multitasking, switching between work, social media, emails, and other responsibilities, which fragments our attention and makes it harder to remember details. The sheer volume of information we encounter daily also contributes to this issue. For example, we receive countless notifications, messages, and updates, making it difficult to prioritize and retain what's important. Additionally, modern lifestyles often involve high levels of stress and insufficient sleep, both of which negatively impact memory. On the other hand, some argue that forgetfulness has always been a part of human nature, and what has changed is our awareness of it. With the advent of technology, we now have tools to track and measure our forgetfulness, making it seem more prevalent. Regardless, it's clear that the demands of contemporary life place a greater strain on our memory, making forgetfulness a more noticeable issue.
What are the consequences of forgetting important things?
Forgetting important things can have significant consequences, both personally and professionally. On a personal level, it can lead to missed appointments, forgotten birthdays, or neglected responsibilities, which can strain relationships and cause feelings of guilt or embarrassment. For example, forgetting a close friend's birthday might make them feel unappreciated, damaging the trust and bond between you. Professionally, forgetfulness can result in missed deadlines, incomplete tasks, or errors in work, which can harm one's reputation and career prospects. In more serious cases, such as forgetting to pay bills or attend critical meetings, the consequences can be financial or legal. For students, forgetting study materials or exam dates can lead to poor academic performance. Beyond these immediate effects, chronic forgetfulness can also impact mental health, leading to increased stress, anxiety, and a loss of confidence in one's abilities. However, it's important to note that occasional forgetfulness is normal and doesn't usually have long-term consequences. The key is to develop strategies, such as using reminders or maintaining a structured routine, to minimize the likelihood of forgetting important things.
How can people improve their memory and reduce forgetfulness?
Improving memory and reducing forgetfulness requires a combination of lifestyle changes, mental exercises, and organizational strategies. Firstly, maintaining a healthy lifestyle is crucial. Regular physical exercise, a balanced diet rich in brain-boosting nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids, and adequate sleep all contribute to better cognitive function and memory retention. Secondly, mental exercises such as puzzles, reading, or learning new skills can keep the brain active and improve its ability to store and recall information. Techniques like mindfulness and meditation can also enhance focus and reduce stress, which are often linked to forgetfulness. On a practical level, using tools like calendars, to-do lists, and reminder apps can help organize tasks and ensure nothing is overlooked. Breaking information into smaller, manageable chunks and using mnemonic devices can make it easier to remember complex details. Additionally, establishing a consistent routine reduces the cognitive load of remembering daily tasks. Social interaction is another important factor, as engaging with others stimulates the brain and helps maintain mental sharpness. Finally, it's essential to be patient and kind to oneself, as occasional forgetfulness is a natural part of life. By adopting these strategies, individuals can significantly improve their memory and reduce the frequency of forgetfulness.